Ho, hello, and welcome to a very Christmassy episode of Sequel Pitch, the podcast where four friends review a movie and then pitch a sequel to it. I am Father Christmas himself, Andy Henry, and the elves working in the pitch room in this episode are a man who smells like beef and cheese and sits on a throne of lies. It's Ross Harmston.
Yeah, I'm sitting on it right now, stewing for my Christmas food, I guess.
And a man who also likes to sing naked in the shower, and I would know, it's Drew Toynbee.
Exclusively Michael Bublé. Only Michael Bublé covers. No, and yeah, it's covers, by the way. I take it very seriously.
You got the brass band in there and everything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had to throw Matt Rushton out of the toy room into the cold, so he won't be joining us this episode, but don't feel bad for him. The son of a nutcracker shoved 11 cookies into my Blu-ray player. And that's not as sexual as it's supposed to sound. Right then, come with me on my Christmas sleigh as we revisit the 2003 Jon Favreau, Will Ferrell Christmas comedy Elf. As always, we recap what happened in the film in our 60-second synopsis. And in order to fit in 60 seconds, I'm going to have to use my slightly higher, sped-up elf voice.
On Christmas Eve, a baby in an orphanage sneaks into Santa's bag and is accidentally taken to the North Pole. Santa decides to let Papa Elf adopt the baby, and the other elves name him Buddy. Buddy grows up believing he's an elf, but no, there's something special about him. So Papa Elf reveals Buddy's real dad is a book publisher in New York, who remarried after Buddy's birth mother passed away, and tells Buddy he should find him so he can be with his real family. Buddy then floats on an ice block to Canada, I'm guessing, and then walks to New York, where he finds his father, Walter, played by James Caan, who wants nothing to do with Buddy as he sees he's dressed as an elf and just assumes he's crazy. Later, Buddy walks into a department store and is misunderstood to be an employee dressed as an elf and meets Jovi, played by Zoe Deschanel Sauce. As his relationship with Jovi cheap joke, but I went for it. As his relationship with Jovi improves, his relationship with his father gets worse, and Buddy decides to return to the North Pole, not feeling at home with his family. But when Buddy sees Santa's sleigh fall from the sky and land in Central Park, Santa reveals his sleigh runs on Christmas spirit, and it seems the world doesn't believe in Santa anymore, so he needs Buddy's help to fix the engine the sleigh now uses. When Walter realises he's not being the best father to Buddy or his other son Michael, he quits his job and runs to Central Park, which is now overcrowded with people and news cameras after a supposed Santa sighting. Jovi, who was also at the scene, realises the only way to spread Christmas cheer is to sing loud so all can hear, and gets everyone around Central Park watching TV to sing Santa Claus is coming to town, raising Christmas cheer so Santa and Buddy can fly out of the park and deliver the Christmas presents. And then we end learning Walter has opened up his own publishing company, and his first book is based on Buddy's life, and Buddy and Jovi take their newborn daughter Susie to meet Papa Elf at the North Pole.
Hi everyone, just a quick note from the editor here. Reducing Andy's summary down to 60 seconds made it literally inaudible, so we're very sorry that it comes in at the 83-second summary. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Bye!
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Well, boys. We're all Will Ferrell fans, I'm guessing, here, aren't we? So
Absolutely.
Absolutely. How do we like the film, and is it a Christmas classic, Drew?
It's fine. Like,
Have you changed your mind over the years?
It's not that I've changed my mind. It was this Elf was never on my radar. I don't think it ever went onto my radar until probably I got to university, and I still didn't actually watch it.
Yeah.
At that point, it was just I knew the funniest lines, like Buddy the Elf, what's your favourite colour? And you sit on a throne of lies and Santa, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
And so I had watched it at some point in the last few years, but not paid attention. Like, it must have been on TV around Christmas, and like I would have been dipping in and out or something. And so I sat down to watch this, expecting to be like, I'm blown away. Like, people say this is the best Christmas movie, like the Christmas movie that you have to watch, and that it's absolutely incredible. And it's fine. It's fine. It's got some really funny bits.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell is really good. He's like, I loved the bit of trivia that basically they when Favreau was tweaking the script, he was watching his 1-year-old son for inspiration. Yeah. And like, okay, if anything a 1-year-old would do, Buddy would do. And as I was reading the trivia, watching the film, and I got to that bit, all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, yeah, he is acting just like my kid.
He's
like,
a little, crazy. As an actual, but
it's and like it is a film. I feel like it's a film for kids that happens to have Will Ferrell doing such a funny job that it makes it work on an adult level as well.
But it's not a classic. Is that it, Ross? Are those fighting words for you? Do you agree, or?
I agree with Drew.
Oh,
So-
Matt is going to be hating
Matt's
this
gonna
on
be
this
so
episode.
upset.
Yeah.
So I'd never seen it.
What is up with
Yeah.
you boys? How can
Really?
you call yourself
I-
Will Ferrell
yeah,
fans
well,
and
like-
a Christmas fans
Well,
if you've never seen
I think
this?
I've seen it, but I couldn't remember it.
I never
and
said I
then...
was a Christmas fan.
I think I like.
Grinch.
I must have seen it somewhere in my brain, but
Is this not a one you watch every Christmas?
no,
Is it
no,
is it
no. It's
very
So
interesting.
for me, what did you, Drew? What did you say in the first bit, which I literally agreed to? What did you say when you first started? Whatever you said to start with,
I
I
was
agree.
listening, so.
Yeah, go back and listen to it, and that's the thing that I agree to Drew about. I was like, I sat down, and I was like, yeah, this is a classic, and yeah, I was like, yeah, so it's okay, like. It's basically an advert for New York. It's just like, let's
Yeah.
do all the things that New Yorkers do, but other people don't. And it's funny. They just like half the movie was him just going around doing weird things. There was a really nice, like, I would have liked to have seen more of actually his dad and him, and also his actuals, like his actual smaller son. And him. Like, you don't really get the sense of James Caan being like this dad who just works all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I would have liked them to do that more. And they were the best scene for me. I
Show
was
don't
like,
tell.
yeah, like the best scene for me was when he was like, well, he essentially says, "Go fuck yourself" to the guy that's like, this meeting can only happen this specific
Right
session
now on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve at like what quarter to like what time is that meeting? It's like
Yeah,
quarter to
it's-
9 at night or
Also,
something.
At
like,
least.
when is this book going to be released? Is it going to be released like
Yeah, do
tomorrow?
you have to send it to the printers tomorrow?
Yeah.
Because this is still just the pitch.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So that bit was the best bit when he was like, "I'm going to go with my son," and he was like, "Don't talk to my son like that."
yeah, that was
really
great.
good.
Really, really lovely
Yeah.
performance.
I
from James
hated
Caan.
Zoe Deschanel in it. I hated
Really?
I hated the song at the end. I thought it was it's so
she's
awkward.
got a magical voice.
She's
She does
got
have
a
a good
magical
voice,
voice,
yeah.
but it's just cheesy. It's like, you better not cry, and then everyone's like, "Oh, you better not."
Santa Claus is coming.
Also,
Yes, yeah.
the weird Gestapo like people on horses.
the park
park rangers.
Yeah,
where-
the Force Horsemen of the Apocalypse. I
Yeah.
like that. That was a
And-
good little reference.
And the newscaster being like, "Oh, there's still controversy around these around these park rangers for their handling of a particular protest." Like, no,
Yeah.
the Simon and Garfunkel concert
Yeah,
of
yeah.
1986, and like little really absurd moments in this movie really work for me. It's the absurdity that works.
Yeah.
And you need the straight man, and James Caan does a great job with what he's got to do. But it doesn't. I feel like it could have gone further, like the elves just
100%.
being normal, like just people with a job, like decent, accepting people.
Yeah.
It's not that it would be better if they had like hated Buddy or anything like that, but it needed to be a bit more bonkers. I
mean,
felt
there's literally like a fucking animated whale and not like.
yeah,
So,
but
like-
then
Yeah.
that stops.
But that's
No,
right
but
on
I
the
mean,
start,
no,
yeah.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing
Oh,
with you
right.
saying that it needed, like, if you're going to introduce an animated character, then you need to go bonkers with it because, like, you started going bonkers, and then it sort of just goes, yeah,
Yeah, family
Yeah.
drama.
Yeah.
And he wears a silly hat.
yeah,
I like Will Ferrell comedy where if it was like a rated 15 or something, it could have been he could have gone into it more. But no, I do kind of agree. I somewhat hate you guys because I love this movie, and somewhat do agree. Watching it again now, there's there's bits in the film I do question the chemistry between Buddy and Jovi. Like I don't
It's
get why
really, yeah.
likes him at all. He's
Yeah.
not charming. He's a bit like, I guess, silly and cute and all that lot and like naive, but like I don't know where that came from. And when the dad's redemption, when he does give everything in, I don't know, it just seems really quick and unearned.
Everything is really quick.
James Caan is the one person that will send that sleigh up into the air by singing.
He's got that last bit of voice.
I was like, why is it specifically him? He's putting all of Christmas down by not singing that song.
Yeah.
He's also on the naughty list, and I don't know if we ever got like him being taken off the naughty. I'm guessing he has, but like when that was a big thing at the start, and I was like, oh, like he'd be on the naughty, he'd be on the good list at the end, and I'm just like. Just wasn't there. It was a bit, but 93 minutes, I think, which is a average, I think, 2000.
Yeah, an hour and a half
era film.
Yeah.
So nowadays they would have did it another half hour, and we would have had more elves and stuff like that. The romance was so weird. It would have been interesting if they took out Jovi's character and just had it more based on him and his dad.
Yeah, and like if they'd left the romance aspect of it aside. As more implied, I think that would have worked better. But the fact that she goes from this psycho has shown up at work to, oh my god, someone's singing along with me in the shower, and it's a bloke, like that's horrifying. That would be terrifying. And then he comes back again, and she's like, yeah, I'll go out with you. And then they walk around a bit, and then they're smooching and they're a full-on couple and they have a kid.
How does he know how to kiss as well if he's an elf who's never basically kissed before?
Like it's just, and it's because it's a Christmas movie for kids and you need that's just one of the elements and it's fine. Like I feel like I'm being incredibly negative, but I'm only being negative compared
the story
to
doesn't.
Compared
it's a really
to
funny
the glowing,
film.
like how much people adore this film, and I think, and there's some really funny laugh out loud moments. All entirely from Will Ferrell, being Will Ferrell, almost certainly improvised on the set, and that's why he got hired, and he does a great job with it. But like, if you're going to say to me, it's Christmas time, are you going to watch It's a Wonderful Life or Elf? I'm going to watch It's a Wonderful Life. Like, what are you talking about?
Bloody hell!
I mean that.
Or Die Hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Die Hard
there we go. Right. Okay,
or Elf would be a difficult decision.
I'm just trying to piss off everyone that I can.
There's two controversial scene jokes in this film. Ross, what do you think about then the shower scene and I guess the dwarf scene?
Oh my god!
Because it's odd because it's like we're not making fun of it, but we're making fun of it because we're making fun of it. It's like we're not really having a dwarf jokes because he's in on it and. You know, and his buddy, was it funny back then? I guess you never watched it, guys, so it's hard for you to understand.
I think,
but like the naivety of Buddy, is it all right enough for you to kind of laugh that away?
I mean, yeah, I think they get away with it because Buddy literally deals with elves, so he's like, and it's the naivety and the childlike aspect of him that they get away. I mean, it's still a little bit like
it's that difficult thing where their intention is not to mock a person with dwarfism in any way. It is to show it's a funny. It's that thing. Yeah, on paper, it is a funny thing to happen and to propel the story forward.
Yeah,
but the byproduct of that is that you are still inviting people to laugh at a joke which is about a grown adult man calling someone with dwarfism an elf and doing it repeatedly when they keep saying please don't. And that's it. It's I don't think there was any malice, but I don't think it would I don't think it would make it into a movie now.
I had a thought because when Buddy was in the shower, not perving, just singing along with Jovi and all that lot. And I was a bit like, I had a bit of a laugh when he kind of hit his head and then went down. But I was like, yeah, is it all right to laugh at that because he's naive and he's not supposed to know? But then again, back in the North Pole, there were women elves there.
Yeah, that's the
thing.
He was
so. Do you just go into the women's shower? Is that okay in Elfland?
That's what's mad. Is like, surely Papa Elf would have been like, make sure you don't do that in women's showers because that's a bit weird, buddy. And he's like, okay, Papa, when... No, apparently not. Papa Elf just lets him do his thing.
It's fine in the North Pole, but yeah, I mean, Santa gave him like 3 bits of advice before leaving. One was like, don't eat chewing gum, which he immediately did.
Yeah.
Don't eat like yellow snow, and don't go to like 10 of the 11 Ray cafes or something. Yeah, he could have given some better advice, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I would not put, like, I would not choose this Christmas movie out of every movie. Like, I would probably pick Jingle All the Way over this.
I was going to mention, between Jingle and this, then what would you?
100%. I would definitely pick Jingle All the Way over this. 100%.
Oh, that's so hard. Rewatching Jingle last like couple of weeks and stuff. I truly love that movie for how ridiculous it is, and I do agree. Like going about it now, if you took this story now, I think they would go a bit more ridiculous and stuff, and that I did as soon as it left the North Pole and the stop animation. It did kind of.
It was just an advert. It was just an advert for different buildings in New York, and like, it's that sort of coming to America sort of thing where it's someone naive to like city life comes and does loads of random shit that they've never seen before, and it's like,
There's one thing I always love in Christmas movies as well, when parents meet like Santa. Santa's real, and then parents meet him. Drew, as a parent, would you not be so pissed off at Santa and just attack him and be like, mate, you owe me so much fucking money. If you were real and could have been making this shit this whole time.
Well, it's that thing where it's such an inconsistency in the movie because Santa is real and delivers presents to everyone, but the grown-ups don't believe in him. And it's like, well, what the fuck do you think has been happening for your entire life?
Yeah.
You didn't buy that. You didn't buy... Is it just assuming that adults stop believing in Santa and then immediately assume that if they have a partner, that their partner buys all the presents and there's never any discussion on any level?
I love the idea of like your boy opening up like a Turbo Man or something at Christmas, and you turning to your wife going like, "Oh, well done," and she's like, "I thought you bought it," and you're just like, "Who the fuck's been in my house at night? Like giving my kid presents? What the fuck?" Like,
it's I had my first Christmas present related mishap with Archer.
Oh yeah.
He's wanted this Jurassic World Allosaurus that's been on a shelf in Asda for months because no one wants merch from that not very good movie except my son, and we kept on being like, all right, look, we'll maybe we'll get it for Christmas. And so I got it, and it stayed in the boot of the car for ages, and then we were like, oh, I'll just bring that in, and then we're busy doing other stuff. All of a sudden
he saw it.
We get Arch home, he immediately sees it. Like clocks it, like he can see like a quarter of an inch of the packaging.
Man, kids are sneaky. Yeah, man. Being a kid, I remember like as soon as like around this time when parents used to come in with big bags, I always used to see if I could see the labels or stuff kind of peeking through the bag. I was a bit like, oh yeah. You got to be sneaky, man.
But so Em and I have learned our lesson. But Jesus Christ, like I've never seen him so distressed. I've seen this child in various states of distress. And this was the absolute worst. It took more willpower than I have ever had to summon to not give him that goddamn toy. But yeah, there we go.
There we go. Well, let's go. Final thoughts around then, final scores, unless anyone has anything else to say. Looking back now, it kind of like it would have been great if they kind of actually. No offense to Zooey Deschanel, great actress and everything like that. But if it was more a father-son story, which. I watched a documentary on this, which the writer was like, "Oh yeah, I want a father-son story." It's like, oh, you could have had that where Buddy saved the the business in a more epic way or something. But
I think I agree.
Go on, Ross, go for final thoughts and then scores.
I think there was like elements of it that I didn't think needed it for the story, like the Zooey Deschanel stuff. I didn't think. You didn't need that. I would have preferred them to really focus on that father-son thing, the story and the fact, and talk about, like the fact that he gave, like this kid went missing into a sack and then never seen again.
He was orphaned, so no one's going to miss him.
That was horrific. Like, just at the beginning when she's like, oh, maybe someone will want you by next Christmas. I was like, well, fuck. That's the bleakest thing.
Yeah.
That's so horrible.
So I think...
And then she walked in and the baby's gone as well. Like, how depressing is that?
Doesn't do anything about it. Just goes, oh, well, he's probably dead. See ya.
It escaped.
Yeah. So I would have liked them to focus more on, like, James Caan and Will Ferrell's relationship in that, and it would have probably been a more heartfelt Christmas movie for me. I did like, it is, even though I, said it is an advert for New York and stuff, I still liked those bits of him doing silly things, like putting syrup on spaghetti and stuff, and jumping on a tree and things. So, I'm going to give it... I won't give it under... 3, I don't think. I'll give it 3 park rangers making people scared that they're going to kill you. What are they doing? Are they going to kill you? Like, are they going to trample you to death?
Apparently, Jon Favreau wanted, like, completely ripped off the ring wraiths for that. His inspiration was to make them look like the Nazgul.
I love it.
Okay, yeah.
I love one's forgotten to show up as well. It's not 4. It's the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse.
I think I'll give it 3. 3 park rangers out of 5.
Bloody hell. Oh.
Okay.
What a great Christmassy spirit. Ross. Drew, what else? Say some nice things about the film.
I mean, I think I've already said them. Like, the performances are good. It's like Mary Steenburgen does a great job with not very much. I really enjoy Zooey Deschanel, and Will Ferrell is fantastic in this film. He's really, really good. James Caan, with not very much, does a lot. Ed Asner as Santa, really good. The guy who plays Papa Elf, like, being so dry, really funny. The practical effects that they used for all of those special effects, fantastic. What I will say is, this is a Christmas movie that I will absolutely watch with my kid while he is still interested in it, and other kids are. And I understand the nostalgia people of our age have for seeing it for the first time when they were 15, and when this kind of screwball comedy was still very much in its infancy. I can see why it had such a big impact. But it's, as Christmas comedies go, it's probably the best Christmas comedy that is for kids that I know. But if you asked me whether I wanted to watch Elf or The Holiday, which is a movie I've been kind of Stockholm syndromed
Hold
into.
up, let me stop you right there.
I don't want to hear the end of this
sentence.
I'd probably pick The Holiday or Trading Places or any number of other funnier Christmas
Throwing
movies.
you out in the fucking cold, not Matt.
Home Alone.
So yeah, there we go. I'm more positive than Ross, apparently. I'm still going 3.5. It is a recommendation. Like, it absolutely is a recommendation. Oh, sorry, Andy, you're in the sheet as well. You fill it in. I would recommend that people watch it. It is fun, but it's been overhyped for me for 19 years.
Well, you should have seen it when it first came out then. That's your problem.
No, it's not.
If you saw it when he first came out, you would have had the love and the nostalgia for it, so you can't see anything wrong with it.
Look, I can't help it that this film's marketing campaign was ineffectual on me. That's speak to New Line.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's weird to think, because this was maybe this probably was Will Ferrell's big breakout.
Yeah.
He had done Night at the Roxbury before this and SNL, but he wasn't a big movie star. This was kind of a big risk and stuff, so if this came out now, yeah, you definitely would have seen it. Back then, I guess you're excused maybe for missing it, but not for 19 years. Jesus Christ!
I mean,
and we never watched it. Bloody hell!
But because it's just fine.
Yeah, but
Look
even
at
though
the
I
other
gave
Will
it...
Ferrell comedies that we've Like, if someone was like, oh, should we watch Elf or fucking Step Brothers? We'd all be like, oh, yeah, Step Brothers.
Yeah. Even if it is not a Christmas, it's just like, yeah, 100%.
So I do have this nostalgia tie to it. I do love it. I do see the problems. I do think it's funny. Ridiculous at the start, could be more. Everything the other boys said, but I'm going to give it a little bit higher. I think I'm going to give it 4.25 unwrapped presents in Santa's stocking. Not Santa, the sleigh. I don't know if anyone realised at the end when Buddy and Santa went off in the sleigh, all the presents were unwrapped. I mean, how lazy has Santa got? We can't even fucking wrap. Jesus. Boys. Okay. Jesus. I guess he's been locked out, but we'll let him speak. Someone open the door. No, it's too cold to open the door. Matt, open the letterbox and tell us what you thought of Elf.
Are you now making me do SFX for a letterbox opening and having to try an audio master the sound of Matt recording into a microphone into coming through a freaking letterbox?
Yeah.
No, Matt,
God
you have
damn
to
it.
record this through a letterbox. Please.
It would make my life so much easier.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, another note from the editor. In the end, Matt wasn't able to record his review, so I didn't have to do any SFX, which I'm very pleased about. Suffice it to say, he gave it a 5. He absolutely adores this movie with a frankly terrifying amount of childlike wonder, and he threatened to kill anyone who doesn't give it 5 stars. So, hopefully you'll hear from us all again once Matt listens to this episode. Bye!
All right, Matt. All right. Shut the letterbox. It's cold out there. Right. So that gives us a final score
Wait,
of
hold
3
Hold on.
What?
Matt gave it 5.
Matt gave it a full 5.
That is
Matt gave it a full
how
5.
Matt's never coming on this podcast ever again.
No, you boys are going to be punished because you've just lost all your Christmas cheer.
That's a perfect
What's
movie
going on?
score. 5.
Yeah, I don't agree with 5.
Matt rates it as highly as Mrs. Doubtfire, Encanto, Inception, Black Panther. Matt gives out 5s like they're going out of fashion. Flash Gordon, The Batman, The Mummy, 1999.
Oh no, didn't he hate Flash Gordon?
Oh, that was Danny's score.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, Matt
that-
hated Flash Gordon.
Yes, he
we
did.
have to-
Yeah.
We have to
okay.
get him on because he's got to speak about Flash Gordon and Inception because he apparently hates both.
Yeah.
So he can have his own episode where he just goes off on those. But well done, Matt, for picking up the score. 5 is maybe a bit too much, but I love the enthusiasm. Well done. It's now time where my elves put down their work tools and pick up their pitchers as they pitch me their best sequel ideas. And then they sharpen their candy canes as they come out and fight to convince me their pitches are the best. 'Tis the season to be pitchy and bitchy. Let's go
Very
for...
good.
Thank you very much. Let's go for Drew first. If
Okay.
you're ready, your little title and your little blurb.
So my title is Elf 2: Elves. I thought about doing the aliens thing and just calling it Elves, but as you'll see, I need the brand recognition of Elf.
Okay.
So when the Krampus and his legion of South Pole elves, famous for their surly nature and wrestling skills, as I discovered because I bought the extra special cheer and sing along version that pops up random elf and buddy facts through the freaking movie. Krampus and the surly wrestling elves kidnap Santa. It's up to his son Nick and a crack team of elves to get him back to save
For fuck's
Christmas.
sake.
What?
Nothing. Don't worry. You'll find out when I do my pitch. Fuck's sake. I was like, as soon as you said, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh no! All right, it's
So
gonna be.
me and Drew definitely didn't look at each other's pictures.
Yeah, I swear to God, I did not look at Ross's pitch. Wow. Okay. Opens with Papa Elf, Bob Newhart's Papa Elf, telling the audience. So again, you set it up as much as possible that he's telling a story how 20 years after Buddy's big adventure, Christmas came under threat again. We go to the South Pole. It's all stop motion animated, but everything's weird and scary. Like there's a messed up penguin, and the other animal is a leopard seal that keeps trying to eat it, but they're also friends. And then we meet Krampus, played by Al Pacino, hopefully. Complaining since the stunt in New York City, people's faith in Christmas has been renewed so much that his business of making the magical coal to go in the stockings of people on the naughty list is basically on the verge of collapse. There's only a few people holding out. And his elves are really unhappy because they're all bored and they're going to mutiny. So he wants a big gesture to win over his elves, and he announces just a few weeks before Christmas it's time they showed everyone who's boss. Cut to the North Pole. The elves are busy making all the toys. They're complaining it's really hard to keep up with making all the electronics because it's 2022, 2023 when this movie comes out. Santa, because Ed Asner has passed away, I propose either Brian Blessed or Robert De Niro for the Pacino connection, but I'm happy with either. Santa comes in, he gives a big speech. They've got to work harder. He looks quite harried and quite stressed out. Like Christmas is getting more difficult for him. But then his son Nick comes in. I propose being played by Andrew Garfield because he's funny, good energy off Andrew Garfield, and he gives a sort of happier, uplifting. He's a bit nerdy, he's a bit dorky, but he sort of lifts everyone up, and the elves get back to work. Then all the lights go off. The South Pole elves come in like a special operations raid in elf spec ops gear. So it's all really bright colours, and the night vision goggles make everything look rainbow coloured. And they subdue the elves by shooting sour candy into their mouths, which they just can't handle. Or it's like lemon juice, water pistols. And they shoot a gun that ties up Santa and Nick separately with ribbon and wraps them up like a present. Krampus comes in, tells Santa he's been making him look bad, takes him to the South Pole. He'll miss Christmas, everyone will stop believing him, and everyone will be naughty forever. It will be terrible. Krampus leaves. Mrs. Claus comes in. I want Susan Sarandon. I think that would work. Everyone's sad. They don't know what they're going to do, but Mrs. Claus is like, Nick, this is your time to shine. You've got all those designs for making the workshop high tech and being able to keep up and things. I'll stay here and get the elves building your designs. You've got to go and save your dad. So that happens, basically. And I do have more, but you know, we know how this is going to happen.
To credits.
So Nick sets off on his journey. You have a funny bit in Canada with people saying "a" and other stereotypical funny Canada jokes that kids will get. He makes it to New York, and he stops in to see Buddy. And we see Will Ferrell and Zooey Deschanel, and we get an actress to play their daughter. But actually, because James Caan has passed, his Howard has died. And so Buddy's like, I would, of course I'd come and help, but I've got to deal with this. And you have is kind of, Buddy's still Buddy, and he still has some funny stuff and like hugs people whenever he meets them and leaves. But it's sort of touching, and it's about father and sons, and he gets to reminisce about his relationship. Nick,
I think you said Howard, but I'm guessing you meant Walter.
I did mean.
Got to be Howard.
Yes, sorry. I did mean that. And so Nick is then like, oh no, Buddy was the plan. Like, he's a success. He's got money and resources and things. What are we going to do? And he's literally walking down the street and has a meet cute with Ana de Armas playing Gloria. And he literally knocks everything out of her arms. He picks the things up. She asks why he's in such a rush. He's completely honest. He tells her everything. He's like, I'm Santa's son. He's been kidnapped. She's one of the few people that doesn't believe, but because he's so earnest and nice, she agrees to help him. She thinks it's fake, but then she meets the elves and quickly comes around. They need to get to the South Pole. Gloria's father is a pilot, and he can get them there. Her father, Francisco, call back to the first movie, Francisco. That's nice to say. Played by Antonio Banderas, agrees to help, and you have a sequence where they have to steal a plane, and they have a big ethical argument about we'll all go on the naughty list, and that's a sacrifice we're going to have to make. And then they all agree they'll try and put it back, and they'll steal one that won't be used for a few weeks, so no one will know. And so,
polite theft.
Yeah, exactly. And they put it back. No one will ever know. And it's kind of, you're getting into the war movie spoof stuff at this point. They fly to the South Pole. They break into the base. It's all cartoony, like the North Pole. And it's basically just a silly version of Rogue One, where they're desperately trying to get into the facility, and the elves are being picked off one by one, like by insane Christmas traps and really stupid stuff. Eventually, Nick and Gloria get captured in a trap. They're thrown in a cell with Santa, and he's given up. He's too old. He's tired. He can't keep up. He says that they should just let Christmas go. Nick tries to win him round, but he can't. And because Nick's always been in his father's shadow, he gives up too. And then Gloria who's never believed in Christmas before, gives a really big speech about how important it is, and even for people who don't believe it's magical, they've got to keep the magic. And then she starts singing, what did I say she was going to sing? She starts singing Holly Jolly Christmas, and it echoes through the air vents, and the distraction lets the other elves do their kung fu escape. So the thing about South Pole elves being famous for their wrestling is one of the elf facts that pops up in the movie. And so
I was wondering where that came from.
And so they like have a wrestle fight, and they're like, oh, but we South Pole elves are famous for our wrestling skills, and the North Pole elves are like, well, just because we're not famous for it doesn't mean we're not good at it. They free Nick, Santa, and Gloria. They have the showdown with Krampus. You basically find out Krampus and Santa are brothers, but they've not dealt with it for ages because Krampus was the black sheep of the family. Insert joke, more like a goat because of the horns. Am I right? He went the opposite way from Santa because he wanted to make a name for himself, but he still failed. And then we have the touching reunion. Santa says he never realised how hard it must have been to live in his shadow, and the camera lingers on Nick as well, and he wants him to help. Krampus immediately becomes good. The Surly Elves come round. They take Krampus's heavy metal rock sleigh and fly back to the North Pole. The Surly Elves and Krampus help mate rebuild the workshop, and everything gets going. They're going super fast, and there's a montage of clocks ticking down to the alarms on Christmas morning. It's a race against time, but then they get all the presents delivered just before the alarms go off. And in the end, Santa retires, hands the reins to Nick, badum-ts, like reindeer, says he'll need a Mrs. Claus, and we get a little sweet smile between Nick and Gloria. Cut to next Christmas, Nick and Gloria are there, Buddy has come back to visit Papa, Krampus is there, grumpy elves, they're making cool toys, the end. Sorry, that was really long.
Very nice. No, it was good as well. I like the pressure you put on Gloria at the end as well to be to join this family and take this position.
Well, and maybe well,
that's just me. I can imagine everyone looking to her as a really sweet moment. She's like,
no,
just met this guy.
I mean, yeah, I thought about putting something in there of being like, well, Nick says something like, well,
Christmas,
no, she has to choose, but I am trying to make this a kids movie, and that's just one of the conventions, and there has to be a Mrs. Claus in inverted commas. So there we go.
Well done. Very interesting. I've got a couple questions, I guess. First one, just so I can picture it more in my mind. Al Pacino and his elves. They're not stop motion. They're actual
they
costumes
are,
of people.
Yeah, they're
But everything around is stop motion.
Yeah,
that's
exactly
fine.
the same as the North Pole.
Yeah. Can you give us a quick rundown of what Krampus looks like?
Well, Krampus is it's hopefully
how much of his face as well? Was it going to be like heavy prosthetics, or because it's a kids movie, do you not need that much?
No, it won't be. It will just be Al Pacino's face, but he's huge and hairy with horns.
Good. I like. Okay. Brave move not to go with Buddy, the protagonist. What was the thoughts behind that?
I feel a bit bad. This is another one of my sly, backstabby moves. Will Ferrell has repeatedly said and reportedly turned down $25 million to return as Buddy in Elf 2. He does not want to do it. He doesn't want to be in the costume again. And so I was like, well, you can't make it about Buddy and not have him in the costume.
Okay.
But I hopefully he would consent to joining as a cameo in a normal suit and getting to show where Buddy got to. So that's why, of course I wanted to do Buddy, that then all the stuff that I read that was like, he's just flat out says no every time it's brought up without question. I was like, I can't do it. And I completely understand if you pick Ross's and Buddy is the star, that's fine. I'm not going to argue against that if Ross has the better movie, but I couldn't. I just immediately lost the picture of Will Ferrell doing it when I read that he wouldn't actually do it. And maybe that's me taking this too seriously, which of course it is. But there we go.
Last question. You kind of answered it, but going a bit more. Then tell me the difference more between Buddy's character and Andrew Garfield. You said he's a bit nerdy and a bit.
He's nerdy.
So how is he different from Buddy?
He's nerdy. He's maybe a little bit naive, but he's more he's not as childish. More of the comedy will come from the troop of elves, who I realise I literally haven't even named. They will, of course, have names and characteristics and conflicts between each other and various other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's another father-son film, but it's about living in someone's shadow despite them being amazing and wonderful and loving you, rather than neglectful father. So it is, the comedy isn't, he's not Buddy. He is decidedly not Buddy.
Sure. That's good. Yeah, I was just wondering if Andrew, not like he would, not like he'd be directed, but is Andrew Garfield just trying to be Buddy, or has he got his own characteristics?
Yeah, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
Not that I think Andrew Garfield could probably do it, but
Yeah. Good. Very good. All right then, Ross, over to you, son. Whenever you're ready, your title and blurb, please.
Elf 2. That's it. With
Hold on, let me just take that in for a second, because that's creative.
yeah. With
Whoa.
with Santa captured by a mysterious enemy.
yeah,
With a mysterious enemy to the holiday season, Christmas as a whole is in jeopardy. Elf must step up, or Buddy the Elf must step up to the plate.
Elf.
Yeah.
He's got a name.
Yeah, Buddy the Elf must step up to the
Soldier.
plate. Either find Santa or deliver the presents around the world before it's too late.
protagonist.
Yeah. We open the movie and we
very
see.
good. Okay, when you're ready.
We open the movie and we see Buddy talking out loud. We don't know who he's talking to, but he's saying stuff like "I miss you," etc. We then see Buddy is at a graveyard, and it turns out he's talking to his father, who unfortunately passed away. R.I.P. James Caan. We then see him introduce his daughter Susie, played by Chloe Grace Moretz. This is mainly for the audience, but this is the first time she has left the North Pole, and Buddy is showing her the real world. So then we have a montage of Buddy showing Susie all American things, and this gives us to show off the New York as a holiday destination for tourism. Tourism. Fuck, I can't weirdly. Yeah. Anyway, the door. So they do like the door revolving thing. They go on an all-you-eat buffet and squirt syrup on everything. They go to a hockey game, and then Buddy manages to get on the ice, and then everyone's like, "He's amazing," and people cheer, and they're like, "Buddy, you're amazing! Yeah, fucking yay!" But there's some tension there, as Susie isn't as loud and as funny as Buddy, so she's kind of resents her dad a little. There's like that tension there. They go to a zoo, and Buddy ends up getting all the penguins to follow him, or maybe he gets brought into one of the penguins' families and he has to feed the young one with his own sick or something. Classic Will Ferrell stuff. They do a few more, which I can't be asked to write out. Spattered in between these scenes, there is some daddy-daughter time. Buddy can't really connect with his daughter, and he struggles kind of like his dad with him. Whilst they're doing the last tourism advert, Buddy and Susie are interrupted by his adopted Papa Elf. Yes, he's still alive. He tells him that he has to come to the North Pole as something bad has happened. So they travel back and find out that Santa's been kidnapped. They panic because it's Christmas Eve and they need Santa to deliver the presents. They show Buddy a carrot that was left in Santa's room. He thinks nothing of it and pockets it. So begrudgingly, Buddy accepts to take on the role of Santa. We then get a training montage of him getting ready, maybe like eating mince pies, pouring milk in his mouth like Kurt Angle did in WWE. He has one last thing to train on, and that's the sleigh, which he smashes into one of the toys workshops, and the elf that got crushed in the first one gets crushed again. Susie manages to ace all of her training, however. Buddy has a crisis of confidence and believes he can't do it. He shuts himself in his room and starts to watch TV. It's Looney Tunes. He sees Bugs Bunny, and then he pulls the carrot from his pocket. He has an idea and goes to his papa and asks him to find a book on all the holiday figures, like the holiday people. He looks up the Easter Bunny and thinks he might or they might be involved. So Buddy and Susie don't have any time to spare. They travel to Easter Island and locate a secret, which is actually where the bunny is from, Easter Island. They travel to Easter Island and locate a secret bunny kingdom. Now, these are like real bunnies, like CGI. They talk and sometimes they walk like humans and carry spears and stuff. They get taken into the Easter Bunny, and he's voiced by James L. Jones. He informs Buddy that he did, in fact, steal Santa and kidnap him, and that they captured him because they want the world to forget about Christmas and remember Easter. They are about to capture Buddy and Susie, but Buddy blows on this horn thing, and this is a callback to the news team assemble in Anchorman. And suddenly, hundreds of elves appear, and there's a big battle between bunnies and elves. You can insert some funny mock war scenes, maybe someone like with his guts out, but it's tinsel, and he's... They find eventually Buddy manages to beat the Easter Bunny and find Santa, and they take him back to the North Pole. Who knows if he'll come back into future films? Who knows? Now, obviously, I know that the Santa actor played him is unfortunately died. So either you can do it like respecting him being that person and only showing little bits of him or from behind or something, or we can recast him. I don't really know. Santa reveals his hands are injured and he still can't ride the sleigh, so he urges Buddy and Susie to do it. Buddy says yes, but Susie says no, and her and Buddy then have the heart-to-heart. Susie feels she's never going to be like her dad, but Buddy tells her, you don't need to be like me. You're perfect the way you are. They hug and they get on the sleigh, and Susie's driving. Then there's a montage of them going round delivering presents, maybe insert some last comedy scenes with her and him as well. They get back to the North Pole and Christmas is saved once again. End of movie. Post-credit scene. The Easter Bunny is in this room with a circular table, and sat around it we see St. Patrick, Baby New Year, Uncle Sam, a turkey, and Cupid. Easter Bunny says, "This is the last time we'll be overlooked. It's time to take down Saint Nick." In the movie.
Turn everything into the Fast and Furious franchise, don't you? You spin it any way you like. Wow, that's...
Yeah, and Vin Diesel's there as well.
Vin Diesel's there.
Yeah.
Annoyed that Fast and Furious doesn't have a holiday yet.
Yeah.
I love a turkey. Is a turkey there to represent Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I guess. I was trying to... I didn't know what like figure they have for Thanksgiving. So it's just a turkey.
Yeah, it's a turkey, or pilgrims, and the turkey is the far funnier choice.
Yeah.
Especially if the turkey doesn't speak. It just...
Yeah. So there you go.
Okay, yeah. A couple of questions, I guess.
Go for it.
Why? Tell me more about Buddy and Susie's relationship. Why don't they kind of get along?
So they do get along, but like Buddy's always striving. Like every time he's like, "Oh, did you see that?" She's like, "Yeah, it's great." And she kind of like resents the fact that he's so popular and that she's again got lots to live up to, like with him. Kind of a little bit similar to Drew's in that sense of like, you know, it's that thing of her feeling inadequate. And then like he also feels like but then he gets frustrated because he can't connect with her. And then, yeah, and I think that's the relationship. Obviously, it will develop over those scenes that they have together. I couldn't obviously put every single scene, but yeah, that's the sort of relationship they have. And then at the end, like, Buddy like goes, finally has a heart-to-heart with her when she says no, when she doesn't want to help because she doesn't think she can do it, even though she can, because she can drive the sleigh like really well. Buddy's like, that's the first time that they've opened up together, and like she said, I just feel like, oh, I'm just trying to live up to being like as funny and as cool as you. And she's like, you don't need, and he's like, you don't need to be, you're perfect the way you are. That's the sort of relationship arc they have.
The all-you-can-eat buffet you mentioned they have at the start, is that an actual buffet, or is that just more bubblegum off the street?
No, it's an actual, like, they'll do like loads of typical New Yorker things.
I don't know, I would find funnier them like stuffing themselves with an all-you-can-eat, or literally them either side, or maybe him eating the bubblegum and she's just like, you know, looking...
So
but yeah, no, that'd be quite fun.
They go to this all-you-can-eat buffet and they're sprinkling syrup over everything, and there's like someone waiting to like put some in, and they go,
okay, yeah,
would you like some? And the person's probably like, no, I'm okay, thanks.
So, as it's a Christmas family film, tell me about this big end fight on Easter Island with the bunnies that have spears. How because I assume it's not going to be like a snowball fight, which you might have as an
they might
fight.
Do. They might bring
so
some
how
snowballs.
how is this going to be a family friendly fight that eventually
I was only joking with having like a person with their guts out with tinsel.
But how is
it can be I'm helping Ross with this because that's hilarious. It's not that his guts are tinsel. He's been knocked out and he's in pain, and some of his costume has spilled away,
exactly.
and it looks like his guts are out as tinsel.
Yeah, it's just more. I think it's a comedy. It's a spoof of a comedy like fight. There's no actual violence. They're not actually killing the rabbits. They're like just punching them or something, or I don't know. They get kicked or something, or they throw little rabbit poo pellets at them and stuff. And it's not going to be like uber violent. It's more comedy, and that's why the Easter Bunny doesn't like get killed or anything. He just gets like knocked out or something. I don't know. But yeah.
Okay, fair play. Well, let's not hold off any longer. Let's get straight to the debate section, boys. Fight out. Convince me why your pitch is the best for the final winner of 2022.
Oh my god!
Don't forget to go for their jingle balls and fight.
Okay.
Tell me why yours is the best. Come on.
All right.
It's very hard. This is you both have very good pitches. Well done. And it honestly is going to be. You're going to have to literally convince me why.
Yeah.
I should.
I'm gonna start by saying by giving props to Ross, because Ross has brought the screwball comedy, more of it, that I wanted in the first movie. And that's really good. And it like the absurdity, the proper Will Ferrell Anchorman absurdity that is so freaking good. My negatives against Ross and why I feel like mine is better are they're really, really picky. It's stuff like, it's the first time Susie's left the North Pole, but at the end of the movie, Papa Elf specifically says Buddy comes back to visit occasionally, like he's a famous children's author. They live in New York.
That's fair. That's fair.
And at least my baddie is a baddie and has a redemption arc, where Ross's baddie is actually a beloved mythical. I don't know. It's not a mythical. It's a beloved fictional creation that children across the world love, and it is really funny. Like, and the council of other holiday things. It's a little bit Rise of the Guardians, but that's fine. But yeah, it's more logical stuff. I really liked Ross's, but A, Will Ferrell said he wouldn't come back. B, that it directly contradicts the end of the first movie. C, James Earl Jones has retired from acting.
Yeah, acting, not voice acting.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right. I mean, if he
But
if he
yes,
if he
maybe.
doesn't want to do Darth Vader anymore, I don't think he's going to want to do the Easter Bunny. But yeah,
I'll
so
give him money. I'll give him money. It's
in the
fine.
spirit of Christmas, I'm being very positive with this. I'm pointing out my nitpicks, but I really you heard me laughing. It was really funny.
I think you should pick mine because I have Will Ferrell in it. Yes, he might not want to be in it in the real world, but we are making up sequels of what we would like to see. I give you the screwball comedy that I would have liked to have seen, like Drew said, with the fast, still, we literally saw stop animation whale. So I wanted if this is a world where there's shit like that in it, then why can't there be an Easter Bunny? I think Drew's is good. Drew's has a lot of heart to his. It's a bold choice not to have Will Ferrell in it, and that's commendable that he's stuck by what Will Ferrell has said in the real world. I think his has got a little bit more. His is a little bit more down to earth in a sense, not in the sense of the themes and stuff. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just I've tried to adopt the sort of down to earth side of the first movie, and
you've gone, nah, we need more of the bonkers side.
Yeah. So it's basically which side you want to go down, whether you want to go down the bonkers side or whether you want to go down the more down to earth in your sequel, which you want to pick. But they are both good, and that's with the Christmas spirit. The choice is up to you, Andy.
Ooh, well, yeah. That is a very good way of putting it. I could literally lean one way or another.
Do we make this the first ever tie and just get Matt to host the next episode?
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up as well, if I was arguing yours, Ross, and I love the idea of the conch bringing elves. But where do the elves come from? That's one thing I forgot to ask as well.
They're magic.
Okay. They just turn up.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're magic.
The idea of hundreds of elves just maybe running on the water or something, or just appearing.
With the Avengers music, even though it's owned by Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I see him doing that, and then he goes, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm bringing the thunder." And then you go, "Ding, ding, 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 ding." You have loads of elves. Yeah,
he's I'm passing you my buddy elf power, just only for the moment, though.
A Christmas version of that song.
Yeah. With jingle bells.
But I would counter Andrew Garfield as Santa Claus's son. That's freaking gold. He's hot stuff. He's hot stuff right now.
But
I've got to try and fight.
He's not Will Ferrell, though, is he? Though
Will Ferrell's still in it.
Yeah, in a suit, just going. Yeah, I'm pretty boring now because.
No, he's still silly. He's just as sad as well.
He's super happy. He's just getting over the death of his father. He's like, yeah, come on in. I'll give you a cup of tea.
Yeah. He's super positive. There's no indication that his father has died until he says, "Oh no, I can't. I've got to sort my father's funeral."
All right. Ding ding, let's call it there. That's so hard. Which way do I want to lean? I like Drew's, love the idea of Krampus trying to save his coal business and the idea of giving coal to kids and stuff like that. I do like the casting, Al Pacino. I probably, I don't know, it's tempted to go with De Niro just for the pairing, but I might go Blind Blessed. It's a great cast. Yeah, I would say it's got more heart in yours, especially with the brothers coming at the end. But does it suffer from not having Will Ferrell as the star? Would I personally go see an Elf 2 if he wasn't the star? It is as much as
you'd still have him on the poster. He would appear prominently in the trailers.
But he'd be really small though, wouldn't he? Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
He'd be the main focus.
Yeah.
Elf 2 minutes he's in for it.
Very good.
Ross, I both like the idea that Santa's kidnapped. I think it's an easy idea to go for Christmas, but like a good strong one.
Yeah.
I like the idea, the montage of Buddy training. I do, yeah. I like that it's definitely the screwball that I wanted the first one, and I like the Easter Bunny being the bad guy. I think that's ridiculous. I do prefer Drew's bad guy motivation. It's a bit stronger, and therefore the redemption is a bit stronger. I also was wondering if your like Act 2 is quite enough, but then I thought I would move your post-credit scene. And this is the bit where now am I changing your pitch, because if I was going to make if I was going to have your pitch, if I was going to have your pitch, I would take out your post-credit scene and put it to Act 2. So Buddy's going around all these like holiday people getting clues about Santa, and then ends up at the Easter Bunny.
Yeah. But I thought, I was like, I mean, obviously, I massively left it like quite quick in his assumption that it's going to be fucking the Easter Bunny by just watching Bugs Bunny and a Looney Tunes. I get it, yeah.
Yeah, but the carrot is great. Like, I think that's the first time in any of our pitches where we've been like, we're planting a seed for later in the movie, which good movies do all the time. It's Chekhov's carrot.
Yeah.
It's Chekhov's carrot.
I can imagine the sound, like Wonder Woman's like theme tune. So every time she's mentioned, we get like a little.
Yeah.
We first see the carrot and we can hear Bunny's music. Oh, it's so close. Because Drew's got a very good, near perfect pitch, and Ross is as good, but I would have to change a little bit. So which one do I lean more for? Oh, it's very close, but I'm just gonna give it to Ross because I think the ridiculousness does work very well. And to be fair, I think I would put that Act 2 in. So we get more of the will. I also think that'd be a good idea. That'd be a good chance to show the relationship more between him and Chloe, not Chloe, Susie.
But yeah, it is Chloe the one that.
Because I can see them having like an Inspector Gadget Penny relationship where she's more serious. And he's all mental and stuff like that. But very well done,
like
Drew.
Being entirely honest, if I would choose Ross's. In an ideal world, that is the sequel I would want to see.
Yeah, Krampus. I'd say if yours had Buddy as the protagonist, I think it would have been yours.
I mean, the thing is, I might just keep this and try and sell it as a spec script, and it's not Elf 2. It's just a Christmas movie. Yeah. I think I've got a pretty good Christmas movie. Apart from
you can make a horror probably out of this as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Right,
patent pending.
Yeah, copyrighted already. Yeah. Well done, Ross. Last winner of 2022. Thanks to everyone for listening. Next year, we're going to shake things up a little bit on Sequel Pitch, so stay tuned for that. So thank you to everyone who's listening to the episode and all episodes we released this year. We have such fun coming up with the sequel ideas and shitting on our friends' ideas, and we couldn't do without everyone listening and following us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram under Sequel Pitch, and subscribing to our Patreon.com/Sequel Pitch. Also, a quick shout out to all the guests we've had on this year, including Jordan King, M at Verbal Diorama, and Mike Bithell, to name but a few. If you have a podcast and you have an idea for a movie you want a sequel to, get in touch with us, and we would love to have you on. So that's the last Sequel Pitch episode for the year, but don't worry, Santa won't leave you without giving you one last gift, the thing you want most. It's another episode of Sequel Pitch! Hey! As our next episode will be a wrap-up of the year's movies and sequels, our biggest heroes, our biggest disappointments. We're going to go back over some of our favourite pictures and some more goodies, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Until then, it's goodbye from our runner-up, Drew Toynbee.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Our last winner of 2022, Ross Harmston.
Did you hear that?
Was that from Elf, or was that from something else?
Yeah. So when he burps, and he goes, did you hear that?
Oh. Fair play. And it's goodbye from me, the last, and come on, the best host of 2022, Andy Henry. Remember, the best way to spread Christmas cheer is to sing loud for all to hear. So, leading us out of this episode, singing Santa Claus Has Come to Town, is our very own Ross Harmston. Take it away, Ross.
You better not cry.
Oh,
You
God.
better not cry.
That's not spreading Christmas
better
cheer, that's
not-
spreading Christmas fear.
You
Jesus.
cry, I'm crying, you are crying,
Oh,
crying,
no.
crying, crying.
Why is this Christmas song about crying?
You never had Christmas at my house.
Yeah. Cost of living, mate.